Welcome to Anglesey, and you join me for the 1B race in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Ivan Leary in car 25 starts on pole position for the first race, but weather conditions are changing here all the time and have changed since qualifying. It's going to be really difficult to see what's going to happen during the race. I can't predict it. It's over to our commentary team to take you through all of the exciting action.
Thank you, Lloyd. I'm not sure I can predict how this is going to go either, especially after the 1A group race. The B group's going to be even more competitive. Ivan Leary and Simon Orange on the front row from Callum Greatrex and Clive Chisnell. Then it's Scott Leach and Jack Moody from Bruce Carter and Bryn Griffiths. Adrian Burge and Andrew McGregor rounding out the top 10. Then it's Oliver Graham and Graham Rumsey. Nick Ledoyen and Bruce Robinson. Stephen Bartlett and Chris Ginn. Then Paul Hughes and Daniel Denham. Dugade McGregor and Sam Riley. And rounding out the grid, it's Dale Whiteman and Richard Bartlett. And as you can hear, even the difficult weather conditions and the strong winds and heavy rain in the area is even giving my voice a bit of a go for it, but let's try and get through it regardless. As we wait for the red lights to go up on the top of the gantry, they will go out and we'll go racing in Anglesey. Let's do it. Cracking start from the front, no problem at all for Ivan Leary as he charges towards turn 1. He's got a clear advantage over Simon Orange. We're on board with Adrian Burge as we go through turn 1, and that is no longer Andrew McGregor to our left side. That is the fast starting 45 of Graham Rumsey, who's managed to move straight across. He's now going up the inside, and it looks like we could get a challenge too from the 17 of Andrew McGregor coming back. 24 Oliver Graham trying to go to the left side as well. An absolutely brilliant start as we head up towards Church for the first time, and that's going to be a big lunge from McGregor on the first lap. Can Andrew McGregor get there? Andrew and Dugade, the 16, 17. Oh, a big moment there in the middle of the pack. And who's that going off in the background? A big moment. That might be Dugade McGregor, the 16, who's gone off there. My apologies. No, that was the 64 of Sam Riley, who drifted out wide. He's managed to get the car back again. The leading pack are going through Rocket for the first time. Whoops, a little bit of a trip up there for Scott Leach as he goes onto the grass very, very slightly, licking his lips as he comes off the hairpin. You can see when you look at his front end how that makes sense. Jack Moody, the 544, tucked in there behind Bryn Griffiths in the 31 as they challenge away for position. Coming out of Peel, down the drop and into Siemens. Left flick, then brake, down into the drop for the bus stop. Through the right and then through the left. It's a very challenging lap, the Anglesey Coastal Circuit. Not the easiest for the drivers to negotiate, but they're doing a fine job of it at the moment. As they come back onto the home straight once again and up into that first corner. That's a big move from Greatrex. Callum Greatrex diving up the inside there in turn 1 of Simon Orange. Not sure if he got through or not. We're on board with Bruce Robinson though. Lots of onboard cameras in this BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. The Mark 1s leading themselves to absolutely fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing as Bruce Robinson drifts out wide. This is going to be an oh, I thought that Stephen Bartlett was going to get through there. Didn't get his opportunity in the end, but he's definitely up for a fight. As they come up towards Church, the leaders are already there. Greatrex side by side with Leary, and off the road goes Bryn Griffiths. He goes sideways there, and now look at this amazing tussle as Callum Greatrex has got 13 Leach up alongside him. Oh, he's tagged in there. They're going to go 3 wide into Rocket. That's never going to work. And Leary goes into the door of Greatrex, and somehow 74 Clive Chisnell avoids them all, despite the fact he was going for Burden up the inside as well. Terrific racing. Battle for third position is not easing up anytime soon. Scott Leach still hanging on in front of Callum Greatrex, Ivan Leary and Jack Moody. Then Bruce Carter, Adrian Burge, Bryn Griffiths and Nick Ledoyen in the top 10. They go through Church, no brakes needed, just a little dab of the throttle. So you go back down along the seafront. There's a bit of a long gap before you get to that seafront, of course. A massive grass runoff area. Goes on and on and on forever. Then you come down to the braking zone for that left-hand hairpin into Rocket. And that's where he's been defending that man, Clive Chisnell, for a while. Oh, side by side, Greatrex has gone alongside Leach. He's going to try and tuck in around the outside. That's not going to happen. A puff of dust for Greatrex, and he has to remain in 4th position for the moment. Cut across for the moment by Leach, but Ivan Leary in 5th place is getting hungry, and Jack Moody's not far away. So they come through the hairpin at Peel. Down the drop once again. And as they get back on the power, this is going to get particularly interesting for these guys in the top 3 because the first 2 leaders, as we know, have already gone and checked out. But these 3 are battling for the last 3 positions in the A group grid, or 20th, 21st and 22nd on the starting grid. And then, of course, Jack Moody is in there in 6th position as well. Last lap, here we go. Adrian Burge has got challenge from Bryn Griffiths. This is outside that top 6. So unfortunately these guys are going to have to remain in the B group, although they will be at the sharp end of the B group still. So I'll have to see how things go for them in race 2, and no doubt they'll be wanting to challenge the guys that were in the bottom 5 of the A group to prove that they still have the superiority of speed. Simon Orange going down the back straight in absolutely meteoric style, no problem at all for him. He's been able to control the pace of this race ever since he managed to get a couple of car lengths in front of his opposition, and he's just controlled the pace ever since then. Clive Chisnell in second place, doing a good job as we know, but he just hasn't quite been on the same form as Simon Orange, who really has made this race his own. It was about time he got himself a decent victory with a tough competition, and he's going to make a very nice work of it to the flag. But this is a momentous moment for Simon Orange. He can tick Anglesey as a circuit he can win over the 2018 season. And into the bus stop chicane. Well, this has been perfect for Simon Orange. Hopefully we won't see him in the B group again. But with this victory, that's definitely not going to be the case for race 2. He'll be in the A group. It's a victory for Simon Orange. He takes the win. Waved home appropriately enough by the Orange Army. Clive Chisnell second from Leach, Greatrex and Leary. So Jack Moody just misses out on the top 5 promotion spot to go into the A group. Then it is Bruce Carter. Oh, Callum Greatrex, though, was penalised at the end of the race. You can see there. So Leary and Moody are promoted to the top 5. Carter 7th, Burge, Ledoyen and Griffiths in the mix. Then Andrew McGregor, Hughes, Bartlett, Rumsey, Robinson and Dan Denham, with Duged McGregor, Chris Ginn, Richard Bartlett and Dale Whiteman. Then Sam Riley and the only retiree, Oliver Graham. Fastest lap, Simon Orange.
Simon, congratulations.
My windscreen wiper's getting in the way. They'd stopped halfway in the screen. I was trying to get them off and I've run off on the side, but yeah, it was all right. The car's not as quick as it has been, but it was all right.
Clive, good to see you with another bit of silverware, once again on the podium in the B Racing and moving up to 8.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that race, and he was only able to get there with the BC cars that they gave me, and I'm really looking forward to mixing it with the A racers.
Scott, really good racing out there. That was an immense battle. How do you keep your cool in that situation?
I don't think you do. You just actually grit your teeth and hope for the best. But it was good, clean racing. No contact on my car, so I'm very pleased with that.
The cars are getting ready for race 2B at Anglesey in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. And as you can probably tell, the rain has finally decided to join the party, which is going to make racing on track very exciting. Clive Powles takes pole position. To take you through the race, it's over to our commentary team.
Anglesey plus Mazda MX-5s plus the wet. Bring it on. I can't wait for this one. Clive Powles and Clive Chisnell will be on that front row of the grid, from Paul Bateman, Lewis Cannon on the second row, Matt Pollard and Chris Stapleton. Then it will be Bruce Carter and Adrian Burge on the fourth row. Nick Ledoyen and Bryn Griffiths will round out the top 10. Can I just point those names out again? Powles, Chisnell, Bateman, Cannon, Pollard, Stapleton, Carter, Burge, Ledoyen and Griffiths. Plus the rain at Anglesey. This is going to be mega. McGregor, Hughes, Bartlett, Rumsey, Robinson and Denham close in behind. Then we've got Chris Ginn alongside Rich Bartlett. Then Dale Whiteman, Sam Riley, Ollie Graham and Neil McGregor. Pin back your ears and hang on to something. I hope you've got some popcorn up tap, because this is going to be an epic race. The second B group race of the weekend, and the heavens have opened here at Tycrees. So the red lights are on. And they're out. Let's race again at Anglesey on the coastal circuit, which is going to get an awful lot of rain deluge. Is that a good start from Chisnell? It's a perfect start from Chisnell. Round the outside, Clive Powles gets a bit of a hesitant one, unfortunately. So he drops down, and he is there in second place. But look at the visibility as they head into the banking for the first time. Knitting there into third position, that is Lewis Cannon, as they squiggle their way through the banking. Expect a few more sideways moments, not just because it's raining, but this is the Group B race, where a lot of drivers are still learning their Mazda MX-5 racecraft. I can't see who's in what positions. As side by side, that's Cannon trying to get his way past Clive Powles, who has taken back the lead. So Clive Powles has got himself back up the order into the lead. What has happened to Clive Chisnell? Where's he gone? Is he already through? I was trying to see how far ahead he was of the rest of the field. No, Chisnell has dropped back in to third, make that fourth position as round the outside. Matt Pollard tried to make his way through into third place. So Chisnall initially leading, he just didn't seem to have any confidence in a straight line on the run to Church, and that's where he dropped back to 3rd position. Now he might even have gone down to 4th. So a much cleaner start in race 2 of Group B than we saw in the A group, because obviously in the A group we saw Ali Bray spinning his way at the hairpin there. But it's Clive Poles back in front, Lewis Cannon into 2nd as they drop down to the bus stop in very wet conditions. So these guys are obviously going to have to play it very carefully in the first couple of laps of the race, as Nick Ledoyen just squeezes his way through with a little bit of a squirt of the brakes. That is the 17 of one of the McGregors. I think that's Andrew McGregor in that particular car, making his way through. So now they're going to get down into the banking once again. Down in through that hairpin. And it's Clive Poles from Lewis Cannon, and in 3rd place that looks like Pollard in front of Chisnall, but it's very hard to see with all of the misty-eyed lenses as the drivers are going round. The rain is properly coming down now here at Anglesey, and these of course are convertibles, so the drivers are having a lot of hard work to keep themselves intact, and that's a spin from behind. That's Pollard. Pollard's gone around. Let's have a look. Yes, he's definitely lost that 3rd position. I just caught it in the back of your picture. You would have just seen Pollard lose the car, but Clive Poles is still battling away here up front with Lewis Cannon. So those two have now been left on their own to duke out for the victory, but it's so greasy and so slippery and changing every single lap, so the drivers are going to have a very busy race at the office here. We're getting closer and closer to the closing stages, though. I think we've only got about 2 laps left of this, as the leader, Lewis Cannon, is still way out in front of Clive Poles, who recovered very quickly after that spin. But here's the battle for 3rd. Bateman is there in 3rd place. Stapleton 4th. Is that McGregor going to try and make a move? Not quite close enough yet. But obviously with the rain still trickling down around the circuit, you've got to be very careful about how this race is going to play out. So in these last 2 laps, this 3rd position slot has got to be decided. It looks like it's going to be Cannon for the win, Poles for 2nd, and then whoever one of these 3, Bateman, Stapleton or McGregor, can come through for 3rd position. Well, McGregor's got a fantastic run on Stapleton, down out of Church and up the back straight. He's going to take him before they even get to the braking zone. Great move from Andrew McGregor up to P4, and there's not a lot Stapleton can do about that one. So Stapleton is now down to 5th, McGregor up to 4th, and he's 1 place off the podium. But all these 3 drivers should get through to the A group for the 3rd and final race of the weekend if they just keep driving as they are. So back up the hill once again, up towards Peel, in through the right-hand hairpin. Nice and steady, keep it together, keep it together. So down the drop once again. Andrew McGregor just taking it nice and steady. Now he has got enough time to get back onto the tail of Bateman and duel with him for 3rd position. So they've got to keep this nice and tidy. But as the weather keeps getting quite difficult for the drivers out there, they've got to keep their wits about them in this final lap as we go into the last lap now. And there's a yellow flag up front. Now, I'm not sure who that's for. Somebody's gone for a spin. We've had 2 retirements already. Stephen Bartlett and Bruce Robinson, sadly. They're both out of the race, as Whiteman is having a battle up the road. Cannon is going to try and nip past both of them without too much difficulty. So he goes to the outside line, and they're both sporting enough to get out of Lewis Cannon's way. So well done, gents. That is, of course, Dale Whiteman having a bit of a tussle there with Richard Bartlett. Those 2 scrapping away. But this man, Lewis Cannon, has driven absolutely perfectly in this race. He's going to bring it up to Peel. He made that little error tapping Clive Poles, but I don't think either of them are going to have too much of an issue with it. They're both going to start on the same row of the grid of the A race, as long as Poles brings it home in 2nd place. Poles is still going to be the Masters winner. Cannon is going to be the overall winner. So that's fine in the B group. Oh, nearly lost it there out of the drop of the bus stop. But Lewis Cannon takes it nice and easy, takes the victory, and an absolutely brilliant run. The checkered flag flies in the rain at Anglesey, and he'll be happy with that one. He's through to the B group, no problem at all. There's Clive Poles, so he didn't even lose that much time, and both of them will go through to the A race. Andrew McGregor made his way to 3rd on the final lap in front of Stapleton and Bateman. Graham, a brilliant fight back to 6th. Adrian Burge, Clive Chisnall, Paul Hughes and Nick Ledoyen round out the top 10. Bruce Carter in front of Matthew Pollard, Sam Riley from Rumsey, Griffiths, Denham, McGregor, Ginn, Whiteman and Bartlett. And then, of course, our final 2 who failed to finish, Bruce Robinson and Stephen Bartlett. but it's those 5 in the top 5 that go through to the A group for the third and final race of the weekend.
Back up into the A's for the final race this afternoon. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there. Cheers.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, at the start it was really slippy, and then very slowly the rain was obviously giving in, and things were starting to dry up, so there was some dry lines, and it was just trying to pick through those really. But I held my best, but unfortunately when I was just tapped slightly into the corner, that was it. So it stuck me into second.
Andrew, congratulations on your podium finish. Tough racing out there, lots of close calls and close battles, particularly over those last few laps, and you've come away with some silverware.
Yeah, I was just lucky really. I think it was more mistakes in front of me than driver skill, to be honest, but I like a wet race, throws up a lot of opportunities, and used to this in Scotland, so yeah, really over the moon.
Well, the cars are getting ready to go out for the 3B race here at Anglesey in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Ivan Leary, car 25, on pole position. The track is drying out slowly, the sun is out, but there are still some damp parts out there. So it's going to make overtaking exciting to watch. To take you through the race, it's over to our commentary team.
So our third and final Group B race of the weekend here at the Toy Crease Circuit in Anglesey should give us plenty of thrills and spills action. From the front of the grid, it is Ivan Leary and Steve Foden, Callum Greatrex and Ali Bray on the second row. From Ollie Graham, Adrian Burge, Clive Chisnell and Paul Hughes. Just rounding out the top 10, it is going to be Nick Ledoyen and Bruce Carter. From Matthew Pollard and Sam Riley, Graham Rumsey and Bryn Griffiths. Daniel Denham and Chris Ginn come next. And then on row 9, it is going to be Dale Whiteman and Richard Bartlett. From Bruce Robinson, Stephen Bartlett and Neil McGregor will be the last one in. So this is going to be a close one. All of the drivers know what's at stake. Obviously, after that second Group B race, it's been pretty slippery. But with the likes of Leary, Foden, Callum Greatrex, Ali Bray and Oliver Graham all out to finish their weekends on a high, this one should be a tough one. Here we go. So a good start from the front end of the field. Ali Bray trying to move his way forward. A terrible start for Ivan Leary as they go through the first couple of corners in a very difficult squabble. And on the first lap, it's going to be a tough one as the drivers make their way through. Oh, a spin from Adrian Burge. And somehow everybody's missed him. My goodness, that was a tough one on the first lap. But Adrian Burge managed to get away with that. Whoa, that's really got his heart pumping as Stephen Foden is now there in front of Ali Bray as they battle away for the victory. Ivan Leary's already had a couple of punts and he's a long way down. Matt Pollard and Nick Ledoyen haven't exactly had great starts either. They've dropped a long way down as Bruce Robinson makes his way up the inside of Graham Rumsey. They're going to go door to door. The sun's starting to come out here at Toy Crease as that is the 35. Battling away with Bryn Griffiths. That's Paul Hughes. Pollard up the inside of Griffiths to take the place. And as they drop down the hill once again, this is going to get quite interesting for the leaders as Chisnell gets onto the tail of Ollie Graham. Oliver Graham trying to get himself further up and finish on a high. That's a battle between the leaders. I just saw Bray and Foden going side by side for the lead of the B group. Now as they come through once again, this is going to get particularly interesting. Unfortunately, we've lost our camera position down at the banking, which is why we're having to chop and change a little bit. Chisnell on the back end of Ollie Graham trying to make his movement. And that is Ali Bray. Number 76 now leads the way. That's the car that was driven by Hector Hurst last time out at Silverstone. Here at Anglesey, it is all about Ali Bray, and he's fighting back from his spin in the A group to lead in fantastic style here. He's having a great run already. So second place, already going well for the man who's battling with him, Steve Foden. He's had a few thrills and spills of his own today. So Bray, Foden and Callum Greatrex at the front end of the field. And these three could well disappear and control the race from the front. But there's going to be some great action behind. And that's definitely going to be close quarter stuff as they continue on. Out of that final turn. I'm loving that skyline as they go over the start-finish line there. You can see the sea as they come through out of the back end of the circuit. That's Chisnell now in front of Oliver Graham. So they're making good while the sun shines because it is starting to break through a little bit now. And they're getting the benefit of it as they come up the hill, up towards Rocket. In through the hairpin. Well, Chisnell trying to hang on in front of Graham and start to close in on our top three drivers. So Chisnell and Graham still dueling away pretty consistently. Chisnell gets a little bit of a twitch out of the hairpin. Ivan Leary behind him in 6th place, by the way. As again, Chisnell is having to work very hard on the defence, this time to keep Oliver Graham at bay. Great racing, great battling. Out in front, though, there's the man in the lead on the last lap. Ali Bray just taking things nicely in his stride. He's going to close up on Dale Whiteman and lap him on his last lap as well. But it's been blustery, windy, wet, humid, very, very difficult, and the drivers have had all sorts of tough races and battles to cope with. But this man out front, Ali Bray, is going to finish his 3rd B Group race on a very big high. Simon Orange won the first B Group race of the weekend, then Lewis Cannon got the 2nd, and now it's going to be Ali Bray to finish off and make it 3 different Group B winners in 3 races. It's not quite where he wanted to be, considering he had the pace to run in the top 10 of the A Group. It was only that first lap incident on the 2nd A Group race that hammered his weekend and put him in the B Group in the first place. But he's showing here for the AB Motorsport team that he had the pace to run with the big boys, and he's going to finish off on a high, and he'll take some silverware as a result. He drops down the hill up towards Siemens for the last time. It's not where he wanted to be, but it is the result he wanted to get this weekend. He wanted a win. It would have been the A Group, but not the B Group he would challenge for. Oh, brilliant battle on the last lap, as we got these 3 still battling away for 2nd place. Bray's going to take the victory. He's already crossed the line, but now we've got Foden, Greatrex and Graham to the line. Graham might get one last chance in the final turn. The checkered flag's already out for Bray. Foden across, and there they go, but Greatrex just getting 3rd in front of Ollie Graham. 5th place for Matthew Pollard. Paul Hughes in a fine 6th place. Chisnell, Ledoyen, Ivan Leary and Bryn Griffiths round out the top 10. In 11th place, it is Stephen Bartlett in front of Neil McGregor, Bruce Carter, Graham Rumsey, Sam Riley, Adrian Burge, Bruce Robinson and Dan Denham all on the leading lap. Whiteman and Bartlett a lap down. Chris Ginn, the only retiree, but a fantastic 3rd and final race win of the weekend goes to Ali Bray.
Ali, that was a pretty dominant victory there.
Yeah, no, it was all right. Race earlier didn't go to plan, as I'm sure everyone saw. Bit of controversy, but lads have done great to get the car sorted. That's by far the best the car's felt all weekend. We were praying for rain. Would have loved to have been in that A race earlier.
That was some close racing there in the last half of that 3B race. How do you withstand the pressure from the guys behind?
It was actually a real struggle, that race. You know, we went out on kind of wet tyres with a semi-dry setup, and we thought, you know, is the track going to dry quickly? The sun came out, and I was really struggling with understeer towards the end of the race. And Callum, he really made me work for this place. There was a couple of points where I thought he was seriously just going to come past me on the straight, and I just managed to keep my cool really and keep him behind me.
Callum, congratulations on your 3rd place. Looked like there was a couple of opportunities you had there to get 2nd, but you weren't quite able to pull it off.
No, I just couldn't get past him. He was defending too well. I caught him on the straight a few times, but it just wasn't enough. He was defending really well and he had really good pace, so I just couldn't get past him.